3, 2, 1.
You know what I feel like doing?
What?
I feel like kicking back, relaxing, getting comfy. Welcome to the Get Comfy Game Break. I am your host, Kalo, as always, here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And I'm joined by my co-host,
DJ Wildfire. What's up, everybody?
We also got a special guest here today for a few more episodes of Get Comfy Podcast. Say what's up.
Yo, it's your boy JVR. What's up?
So JVR and I go a ways back to my filming days, and he's here to give us an opinion on games. And you know what? Speaking of games and going way back, Segway King, as always. We're going to be talking today about games we've played before, or what are our first games we've ever played. We have fond memories of these games. They may not be the best games on planet Earth, but they're good to us. So I'm going to open the floor. Whoever wants to hop on the mic, just give us your little take on your little piece of paradise.
One of the first games I've ever played was an old SSX game. It's for those of you who don't know what SSX is, it's a snowboarding game. Back for PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it had for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I don't think they made more.
I remember there was an SSX game for the GameCube, and it had like Mario, Luigi, and Peach. I don't know if that's the same one you played.
It's not. It's a different one.
It's a different one. Okay. See sporting games like NBA Street was my jam, especially with the Mario team. But like I remember NFL Street Blitz, I think it was called, or something along those lines. Those sports games were top notch.
So yeah, it was. They had two of those. It was Blitz and NBA and NFL Streets, where like you were playing in like alleys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Blitz was just like a more like a.
It was like arcade style.
Yeah, it was like arcade. Like you could break each other's bones and stuff like that as well.
I remember I always used to pick Ray Lewis for NFL Street as my running back. For those of you who don't know who Ray Lewis is, he's a middle linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens back in the day.
Legendary.
Very legendary, and he's kind of a cheat code in that game, even though he's not really a cheat code, but like you pass the ball off to him, you're fine.
Yeah.
So a game that I fondly remember that was kind of my first game that got me into this mad world of video games is Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure was my very first game that I truly remember. I mean, I grant you I've played games like Math Blaster, all that type to learn shit. Yeah. That's what it sounded like when I was playing games. I didn't know what I was doing. But I just remember using Sonic in a 3D world. It was open world, technically. I mean, you can kind of piece it together, especially with the new Sonic movie coming out. We were talking about that earlier. But we're not going to get into that. That's a whole different podcast.
A whole different topic.
Yeah, but Sonic Adventure, I liked it because, you know, there was multiple characters. There was Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, the robot, Big the Cat, which was just the fishing minigames that I hated to the ends of the earth. I hated those games. Because every time you try to catch the frog, he'd run away. And then it would just be like an hour of me fishing. And like being a 3-year-old playing that game, I had no patience. So paired with Sonic was Super Mario World, all those old side-scroller games. Those were the ones I really felt a connection with because I played those religiously. Like every time I had a chance, I'd hop on the SNES, NES, all those type of consoles. Grant you, I'm 22, so I wasn't born when those games officially came out, but I had a nice connection with them because I couldn't afford the brand new consoles at the time, which was like the N64, the GameCube, all that stuff. So those are my games.
See, I got into the gaming world a little bit later. My very first game I actually remember playing is Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 1.
Oof.
That's like was a legendary game, and it was the reason why I remember like me specifically playing that game. My dad used to live with my auntie. Mm-hmm. My auntie's son, my cousin, he basically had a PlayStation and he had all those games. And Crash Bandicoot like was my favorite game. I still never even beat it to this day. Have anybody ever beaten like any of like those old school games like Mario or anything like that, or do you just get tired of playing them and put them down?
I actually beat I forgot that game. What it was called? Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah. See, games like those, Ratchet and Clank, I've never beaten. Sly Cooper, I think I came close to beating.
I've actually beaten Sly Cooper.
Jack and Daxter, I came close to beating. I know it was near the end, and then like I've said on
which one?
I beat 1, 2 I didn't beat fully, and 3 I didn't beat fully.
See, I beat 2, 3, and never even played 1.
See, that's where I feel like Jack and Daxter, for like most players, They were interested in 1, but 2 and 3, when it got really gritty and like really crazy, that's when people really started messing with that game.
Yeah, because that's when to me, like when that game came out, I was like, oh, I thought this is it.
Yeah.
Like, that's when they introduced guns and stuff into the game as well. Because the original Jack and Daxter was like more of like a 3D platformer.
It was
If I
such a
remember
big
right.
jump. Like it was regular like
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot, like kind of playing like that. And then it was just like guns. This guy
Yeah.
turned into a monster with long claws, and like he was just fucking everybody up.
more action
I
involved.
didn't know that. I was like trying to use my curse words.
No, you can curse on this.
All right,
We're
cool.
it's totally fine here on the
Okay.
Get Comfy podcast.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I got you.
We don't give a heck.
We
But
don't give a frick.
So speaking of beating the games like we've played in the past, I've said this before on multiple podcasts where I've beaten Kingdom Hearts 2, but every time I beat the final boss and like I'd get to the cutscenes, my PlayStation 2 would overheat, and I never finished the final cutscene in the game.
Okay.
So I never properly beat Kingdom Hearts 2.
Can I say something? I've
Yeah.
actually never.
Oh, rip.
I have Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I just can't get into the game now. I remember having it as a kid, and like I didn't even have the game. My cousin had the game, and he had like all the characters and stuff in there, and I was like, I gotta play. Now I really want to go back and play, but I'm like, I don't really like this game like that.
See, at the time, it was good because it had Disney characters. So, like,
Yeah,
you
that's
get
what
all
I'm
the
saying.
kids. And, like, you've never really seen Disney characters in that sense.
In that type of environment and that type of gaming, like we never seen Mickey Mouse go out there with a sword and like chopping people up now.
Yeah, and he was wearing a hood. He was all mysterious and shit. So, I do remember another game I played way back was this weird Buzz Lightyear game. It was like a 3D, weird looking. It was like Buzz Lightyear Space Command. It was based around the animated show on Disney Channel. So that game was a little weird. I just remember bits and pieces. And then I also want to bring up another one, which I mentioned, Sly Cooper. But I also want to bring up Super Smash Bros. Melee. And on the N64.
I think everybody played that.
I mean, you can just get some boys together. Like, GameCube had 4 slots, I remember, on the front. You just get everyone together, play that game. It's a bonding experience. We still play it here when we're on breaks on the Switch now. But, yeah, Super Smash Brothers, it's a classic.
See, back when I was little, we had PlayStations. So I always grew up with PlayStations, and my cousin, he bought the adapters where you could put more things in there.
Smart.
And we had wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So we would have like these big like matches. And then we'd be like, oh, for real. We'd be just like talking trash to each other.
You'd be cutting
y'all
promos.
Y'all just gonna jump me like this? Y'all just gonna jump me like this? No, I'm big Triple H or something like that. You know, like those are like the bottom moments I actually remember. I kind of wish gaming like kind of got back to that, because now like gaming is all like online now.
It's all online. It's based around profit instead of like the actual quality of the
Yeah.
game. Because looking back on all these titles, like Mario 64, which was amazing, Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Country, all those
Donkey Kong Country.
yeah, like all those games were based around the playing. Like it wasn't based around the long run, where you have to sell DLC, where you have to sell all this other stuff. You just get the game, you enjoy it, and if you want, you can go back and play it. Like a game that recently came out that I think did it like kind of to a point was Super Mario Odyssey. I would say Galaxy.
That was the best in the league.
Yeah, it was. Galaxy was dope.
It was so dope because it was so new too.
Yeah,
I mean, we never had that kind of playstyle. I think that was the first 3D one.
because I remember. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I remember with one controller you like took care of Mario, but the other one you had to collect like the stars or something.
Yeah, the
I could be
the
wrong.
nunchuck was the one to move him.
Nunchuck. Oh my! Remember when Wii Sports came out?
Oh my god, the boxing ring.
I remember when that whole console first came out. I got it on Christmas, and then I also got the attachments to like the controller. So that Christmas Day, I remember I went upstairs, I hooked up the console. It took me forever because I was dumb and I didn't read directions. So
Need directions.
yeah, who does that anyway?
Just directions. I'm a man.
So I remember I set up the console. I put in Wii Sports first because I was like, oh my gosh, motion control. It's crazy. It was like tennis or something. So I attached my tennis racket. I was swinging like a motherfucker. I was trying to swat everything.
You're trying to knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't especially at the time, no one really understood motion controlled like games and like the Wii. That's why it sold so much. But I remember I was getting so sweaty. Like, but this was like 10 o'clock Christmas morning, and like dinner didn't even happen, like lunch didn't even happen. So I was just upstairs, just having a time, like playing baseball, bowling. I remember that was like the whole talk of the town that day, because it was like the Wii was like, for all intents and purposes, it was revolutionary.
So wait, were you one of those people who waited in line for it, or somebody went and picked it up for you?
So I don't know how it got. I didn't physically go to the store.
Oh, no.
I opened it like it was a surprise on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Because I always like, oh, I really want the Wii, but it's going to be hard to get. And just so happens, the magic of Christmas, keep that illusion.
Santa
up.
Claus.
Yeah, keep that up. Yeah.
Santa Claus came to your chimney.
Yeah, and
ate your cookies and left you a Wii.
And this was the weird time where I was stuck between PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That filled the void between that. So I really wasn't dedicated to a console. And Nintendo has always been a console I always gravitate towards. I had the N64, the GameCube, Switch, all the handhelds. If you guys remember Game Boy Micro, you guys are the real ones.
No, I don't remember.
No one remembers it.
I had Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color, the OG. You played Pokemon White, or was it Yellow,
I had two of them.
Blue, Yellow, Blue, and Red. Green was the Japan exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. Green came out in Japan only. I know it was very difficult to get. And then Silver, Gold, and then
I had a gold one. When
Gold
I was little, yeah.
had Ho-Ho on it, or Ho-Ho, whatever.
I don't remember. All I had was Pokemon on there, though.
Dude, Pokemon games in general, growing up, those were just so much fun. I remember going to school and like comparing Pokemon and then like making big trades at lunch. Like, I'm going to give you my Articuno for your Mewtwo. I don't know why you would trade Articuno for Mewtwo, but like those were the trades. Like you felt like it was a big deal. And then you'd always battle at lunch. You'd bring in the connector. Oh, man. Going down memory lane here is just amazing. Do you guys have any other games you guys want to bring up that you just hold near and dear to your hearts?
One of my favorite games that I've actually like grew up playing with my cousins and everybody was Burnout. Specifically Burnout Paradise for PS3.
That's the one where you can travel across the United States, right?
Sort of.
Sort of, kind of, sort of. It was like, it took like a half an hour or something.
Yeah, it took a while.
But yeah, that game, I have it downloaded on my Xbox, and it's still like one of those titles where I'm like, you know what, if I'm bored, I'm just going to go do it, whatever. I'm still going to play it, and that's fine. That's all good and well. So, think we're good here?
Yeah.
All right, that about does it here for the Get Comfy Game Break. I hope y'all enjoyed. Remember, we upload here on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, the whole shebang, every Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And go check out Get Comfy on the Throne, which comes out Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., all those same platforms. And then go check out the original Get Comfy podcast, same time, same place on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. And you know what? We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Yo, y'all got the whole weekend planned out.
Oh, yes, we do. We'll see you guys next time.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.